Hi, welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome. I am Kirsty, and in this video I'm going to set up my bullet journal for April. If you're like me and you like to set up your journal at the very last minute possible, be my guest. I had the idea to go with a bit more of a scrapbooky vibe for this setup, so that's why I showed you some of the supplies that I'm going to be using in this video. And apart from the style that I was going for, I decided to use the month of April for another blossoms theme. A cherry blossoms theme, in fact. The cherry trees around here are already blossoming, and in fact they are already starting to wither at this point. But these past few weeks I was so enthused by pink blossoms everywhere, and I still am, so I decided that I wanted my theme for this month to be cherry blossoms once again, because I know this theme has been done like a million times by like a million different bullet journalers out there, and I have also done this theme more than once in the past in these past few years. And I don't know what it is, but I still always seem to associate April with cherry blossoms or with magnolia and the colour pink and pink blossoms, so I just find myself coming back to it over and over again. And yeah, aside from bad weather that April is famous for, it's also a month in spring, and spring is all flowery and it stands for new beginnings. So I really wanted to do it again, even though it hasn't been the first time, and obviously there's so much inspiration out there for cherry blossoms already. But anyhow, I don't care, I love them. And as another point, the notebook that I'm currently using is by Notebook Therapy, and it's a Sakura notebook, so it's a cherry blossom themed notebook or journal. So, haha. I think I did that for the past 2 or 3 journals, that I had at least one theme for a month in that journal that matched the cover of the notebook. And this one is no different. Notebook covers inspire me to do themes. Anyway, I think you saw that. I played around so much with different paper and stickers and washi tape, and I already cut out so much of the footage because there was so much fumbling about with my hands. It was quite a challenge for me to find a layout that I was happy with in the end, and I didn't want to bore you with fumbling of hands for a minute straight. I mean, it's already sped up, but still, there was just so much... I wasn't happy with it for quite a while, and you are going to see this for the rest of this video. There were several instances where I was not entirely happy with how a certain spread came out, that I decided to just glue something on top of it. But that's fine, because the magic of glue. As you could see, I used a Tombow dual brush pen for my lettering this month and for all of the headers that I needed. I tried to do my best hand lettering font that I can do and added a little drop shadow to it, and I traced the whole lettering with my fineliner, and I really like the way that looks. It's something that I come back to again and again because it just looks so pretty. I'm continuously inspired by different bullet journal channels here on YouTube, and Kat's Planner is one of them. She does amazing lettering, and she is way better than I am when it comes to scrapbooking and making cool layouts with different paper and washi tape and stickers and all that stuff. But I am always inspired by what other people do. And for all of the spreads that I do, I also add a few cherry blossoms. Duh! Basically, it's just 5 different petals that have very wobbly edges, and then you add a little line and a dot at the end of those lines to the center, which I guess is a stamen? I have no idea what the anatomy of flowers is called. If you want more information on that, I can recommend Shada Campbell on YouTube. She does amazing explanations on how to draw different flowers, and she knows exactly what the different parts of a flower are called. The best I can do at explaining it is that it needs to be 5 different petals, and that you need to have those little lines with a bubble or a dot at the end. And that's what makes a cherry blossom look like a cherry blossom. As you can see, I ripped out some of the stuff that I scrapbooked at the corner right there. I was not happy with how it turned out, and I just decided to start over. What I'm doing here doesn't look very different from what I had a second ago, But you know, it felt right at the time of filming and I did like it better. Fair enough. Yeah, that's a nice close-up of what I did for my writing. I think that's easier to see this way. By the way, I left the flowers on this calendar spread white or empty just because I felt like there was so much going on already with all of the scrapbooky stuff and the washi tape and the stickers. So yeah, that's why they are white, and there's white cherry blossoms out there anyway, right? The next spread, as usual, is my trackers spread. I again wrote out the different headings or headers on separate pieces of paper that I then ripped out because I thought that looked cool, and I still think it does. And yeah, I did the same layout that I did last month. I just pushed everything a little further to the edges of the page so that I had more space in the middle. And you're going to see why in a minute, because I'm going to add the decorations of this page to the middle. And then I did the same layout that I did for my past setups for my trackers spread. I did the little calendar layout for my habits, so that for every habit that I want to track, I have a little calendar. And for every day that I did a certain task, I can just add a little bubble or a little dot to the day that I did it. And my two vertical layouts for my sleep and my mood tracker, where I add the times that I slept each night and my mood for a day. If I felt really crappy or really good or meh, then that is where I'll put a little dot underneath the respective emoji of my mood. Yeah, it's the same. If you have any ideas on what you would like to know about those and what I keep track of, or how it looks when it's filled out, I think I've mentioned that in the past as well, let me know. For now, I will just keep repeating myself because it just stays the same. I don't want to reinvent the wheel every single month because these are just spreads that work so well for me and that I just love filling out. I decorated the top with all of these scrapbooky style thingies with some different stickers and paper. And because all of that was pink, the flowers that I'm going to add in a minute are also white again. I tried to do lots of close-ups so that you can see how I draw them. Right now you can see how I draw the little icons that represent my different habits. Like that was sports, and the one that I'm drawing right now is whether I've spent time outside in the fresh air. And yeah, for the rest, as I said, I wanted you to have quite a good look at how I draw cherry blossoms, so that my explanation from earlier makes a little more sense because you can see what I'm doing. I also drew some of them from a side angle so that they're not all from a top view, I guess, and some that are still a lot more closed. So just little buds here and there, and then lots and lots of branches in between that look dark so that there's some nice contrast. And yes, that is essentially it for my trackers page. I always love filling that one out. I hear again and again somewhere in the Bujo community that people don't tend to find it easy to stay on top of things or to update their trackers regularly. I, for one, never had a problem with that, just because filling out my Bujo every day is one of my absolute favorite tasks when it comes to self-care. So I've never had a problem with it. I love filling those out. I have my Bujo open pretty much every day, and it just lies on top of my desk. And whenever I want to have 1 minute to myself, I go through my trackers and see, maybe there is something that I can tick off. So yeah, I've never had much of an issue with staying on top of all of my trackers. For my notes spread this month, I only did a title in the middle of this spread and then a couple of different cherry blossoms that on this page are pink again. I tried to make a close-up of my writing so that you can see what I'm actually doing, and I also slowed down the video to real time so that you can see how long it actually takes me to write properly with a brush pen. So that might be insightful. I did the snap thing! All hail the power of editing. I'm so proud of this one. I've never done it before, and I was proud of the idea that I could try out and do this famous snap your finger transition. And now, moment of realization. Nah! No! I made quite a terrible mistake with adding a line in the wrong place on this spread. But, you know, again, mistakes were made. This is just something that just happens when you bullet journal. I did not make my usual weekly spreads for this month, but I decided to do another monthly overview where I would add all of the tasks that I need to get done. Meh, yeah, it looks fine. It could be better, but it could be worse. So, yeah, I made another calendar spread, basically, where I have one box for each day where I can add a list of tasks that need to get done. For me, I don't usually need that much space for different tasks every day. It's fine if I have at least 5 or 6 different spaces for tasks that I really want to get done on a specific day. And I think I have 8 dot spaces of space for each day in this calendar layout, so I should be fine. And then I will see however many pages I need after that for writing diary every day. You know the drill by now. Yeah, I used the top of this page to add some decorations. The few items that I kept getting back to were some pink stickers from Stationery Pal, and I think those little dots are also from Stationery Pal, but from a washi tape that consists of little dots. I also used some lined paper because I felt like that looked cool in contrast to the dotted paper of my notebook. And yeah, my own writing that I just ripped and that says to do this month. And yeah, again, I did some things that I was not entirely happy with, so I glued over stuff that I didn't like. I was really unhappy with that specific cherry blossom that I drew on the top that you can barely see right now. So I again just took out another piece of paper and doodled around until I had one specific one that I liked better than the one I had before. In the end, this page still didn't turn out quite the way that I had envisioned, just because I actually wanted this little flower to be exactly the same size as those 2 dots. But oh well. I played around with the little pink dots and placed them a little differently, and we're already at the final flip through of this setup. I hope that you enjoyed watching me set up my journal for April and drawing all of these cherry blossoms. Please leave a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you wish to be notified when I post my next one. I hope to see you then. Bye bye.